As the Pandavas and Kauravas grew into their teenage years, Bhishma, the Grand Regent of Hastinapura, began searching for a suitable teacher who could instruct them in both science and the art of warfare. He wanted someone not only skilled in military strategy, but also capable of instilling discipline and wisdom in the young princes. We all know it was none other than Dronacharya, who was the respected guru of the Kauravas and Pandavas. But who was Dronacharya, and what led him to take on this role? To understand his journey, we must delve into his birth and early life. Dronacharya was born in a miraculous way to the great Rishi Bharadwaja. One day, while Bharadwaja was at the river for his daily rituals, he happened to see the celestial Apsara Gritachi. Attracted with her beauty and momentary desire, his mind wavered, and in that instant, his seed fell into a pot. From this very pot, a child developed and was later named Drona, meaning vessel or pot-born. Rishi Bharadwaja took the child to his ashram and raised him with great care. Growing up among the students of the ashram, Drona showed an exceptional interest in both the study of the Vedas and the art of warfare. Under his father's guidance and the training of great rishis, he mastered advanced military skills. Among his fellow students, Drupada, the prince of Panchala, became his closest friend. Drupada, originally named Yagnasena, meaning one born from the sacrificial fire, shared a deep bond with Drona. In their youth, Drupada made an oath of eternal friendship, promising to share half his kingdom with Drona when he becomes the king. As time passed, their destinies took different paths. Drupada became the king of Panchala, living the life of a mighty king, while Drona, bound by his Brahmin heritage, remained a poor yet educated scholar. Struggling to provide for his family, Drona heard that the great Rishi warrior Parashurama was distributing his wealth among Brahmins. Eager to seek his fortune, Drona traveled to Mahendra Pavata, where Parashurama lived. By the time he arrived, Parashurama had already given away all his riches. However, he offered Drona a choice: either take his body or inherit his knowledge of Dhanurveda, the science of warfare. Without hesitation, Drona chose Dhanurveda. Under Parashurama's guidance, he received mastery over celestial weapons, including some of the deadliest divine arms, a gift that would later shape his destiny. Drona eventually married Kripi, the twin sister of Kripacharya, and began their life together in simplicity. However, despite their love and devotion, they remained childless for many years. Seeking divine blessings, Drona embarked on an intense penance, meditating deep within a cave in the forest, now known as Tapkeshwar Temple in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. After years of meditation, his prayers were answered. A son was born, with a loud neighing sound like horses echoed across the four corners of the earth, signifying spirituality. A heavenly voice proclaimed, "This is no ordinary child. He is born with the blessings of Lord Shiva and shall be known as Ashwatthama." From birth, Ashwatthama had a divine gem on his forehead, a sacred jewel that granted him immense power over all living beings. This gem protected him from hunger, thirst, fatigue, old age, and disease, making him nearly invincible and immortal. As one of the Chiranjeevis, he was destined to walk the earth until the very end of Kali Yuga. Despite Ashwatthama's celestial origins, his childhood was filled with hardship. Drona, despite his vast knowledge and skill, remained a poor Brahmin, struggling to provide even the most basic necessities for his family. Often, Kripi and Drona had to go from house to house, seeking food and milk to feed their family. Seeing their awful situation, Kripi reminded Drona of Drupada's promise, the vow of lifelong friendship and shared fortunes. She urged him to seek help from his childhood friend, believing that Drupada, now the mighty king of Panchala, would keep his word. Though Drona was reluctant to seek help, he went to the royal court of Panchala for his family, hoping for his friend's support. But when he arrived, he was met not with warmth, but with arrogance. King Drupada treated Drona with disrespect, saying, "Friendship exists only between equals. You are a poor beggar while I am a king. How can we be friends?" Drona's heart burned with humiliation. Furious, he vowed for a revenge. He swore that one day he would seize half of Drupada's kingdom and repay this insult with justice. Although disheartened, Drona remained determined as he left Panchala and set out in search of a livelihood. One day, while wandering through the royal gardens of Hastinapura, he watched the young princes at play. The Pandavas and Kauravas were engrossed in a game, tossing a golden ball back and forth. As they played, the ball soared across the courtyard and ultimately fell into a deep well. The kids were struggling to retrieve the ball, and Drona was curious to help. With effortless precision, he used his bow and arrows to create a chain, pulling the ball out with unmatched skill. The astonished princes, amazed at his abilities, immediately took him to their great-grandfather, Bhishma. Recognizing Drona's extraordinary talent, Bhishma appointed him as the royal guru, entrusting him with the military training of the Pandavas and Kauravas. As was the custom, the princes left their palace to live and study at their teacher's ashram. There, they met Ashwatthama, and over time, they became close friends. Thus, Dronacharya, once a wandering Brahmin, became the supreme military instructor of the Kuru princes. His teachings would shape the future warriors of Mahabharata, and his journey from a poor Brahmin to the most revered teacher of his time remains one of the most compelling tales of honor, knowledge, and destiny. Did you know that the Dronacharya Temple, located in Bhim Nagar village, Gurugram, Haryana, is one of the only Hindu temples dedicated to Dronacharya? According to legend, this is where Guru Dronacharya lived and trained the Pandavas and Kauravas. I also mentioned the Tapkeshwar Temple in Dehradun, where Dronacharya prayed to Lord Shiva for a son. This sacred temple is situated on the banks of the Tons River and is built on top of a natural cave that has the temple's main Shivalinga. It is believed that Ashwatthama spent his childhood here, worshipping Lord Shiva. As the story goes, unable to afford milk, he was miraculously nourished by the milk that dripped from the Shivalinga inside the cave. Next to the temple is the Dronagiri Caves, where Dronacharya is said to have meditated upon Lord Shiva. This place is also known for the annual Tapkeshwar fair, held during Mahashivaratri, drawing devotees from far and wide. Have you ever been to any of these places, or are they on your travel list? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If yes, please like, share, and subscribe.